In the 1980s, a typical American family could buy a house on a single income. This chart shows the financial math of the era. The average home cost roughly 3 times the average annual income. For decades, that predictable formula kept the American dream attainable for the working class. You worked, you saved, and the numbers lined up. Today, the formula is entirely broken. Even couples earning 6-figure salaries find themselves locked out. Watch the chart for modern cities. The cost of a home explodes upward, reaching 6, 8, or 10 times the average income. Young people are delaying marriage, having fewer children, and renting longer than any generation in modern history. Saving for a down payment feels like running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. It raises the question, did wood and concrete suddenly become intrinsically more valuable? Did an entire generation suddenly forget how to work hard? We are witnessing a systemic breakdown of the basic economic equation between supply and demand. The first half of that broken equation is straightforward. We simply stopped building enough homes. We can trace a massive drop in supply directly back to the 2008 financial crisis. As the market crashed, many home builders went bankrupt, and housing construction ground to a near halt. This chart reveals the resulting multi-decade shortage. While the blue line showing population continues a steady climb, the red line showing new housing supply takes a dive after 2008 and never recovers. But the construction industry isn't the only bottleneck. In many cities, developers face a maze of restrictive local zoning laws and neighborhood opposition that blocks new housing. Local residents frequently organize to block higher-density apartment developments, citing concerns that new buildings will create traffic or lower their own property values. Local policies originally written to protect communities end up artificially capping the housing supply, ultimately destroying affordability for the next generation. While supply stalled, the other half of the equation, demand, shifted in a way that further distorted the market. First, millions of people migrated toward the same places. Major global economic hubs packed concentrated populations into localized areas with limited space. Second, houses stopped being viewed exclusively as shelter and transitioned into global investment assets. During a long era of low interest rates, large investment funds, private equity firms, and wealthy individuals looked for a safe place to park their cash. Real estate became a financial vault. The battlefield is lopsided. A family trying to buy their first home now finds their bids buried by professional financial entities backed by enormous capital. When institutional money treats housing strictly as an asset class to maximize returns, it prices the middle class out of the market. Macroeconomics poured gasoline on this already burning market through volatile interest rates. For years, cheap borrowing meant buyers could take out much larger mortgages. That influx of cheap money kept demand elevated and inflated home sale prices. When inflation hit the broader economy, central banks were forced to pivot, raising interest rates to cool the spending down. This graphic illustrates the trap sprung on everyday buyers. They are now crushed under the dual weight of record-high listing prices and exploding monthly mortgage financing costs. The combination of expensive homes and expensive debt has created the toughest environment for buyers in decades. The housing market currently operates as a structural engine for systemic inequality. When young people are locked out of the market, the traditional path for building and transferring wealth to the next generation stops. The cultural meaning of property has shifted. Homeownership is no longer a guaranteed milestone of adulthood. It has become a privilege. If these trends hold, the middle class will increasingly become a class of permanent renters, severed from the economic security previous generations enjoyed. The future hinges on whether markets and policy can realign these variables, or if the window for accessible homeownership has closed for good.